Hey guys, this is Jason Morris with the Facebook group Real Estate Agents That Really Work, and I'm going to tell you in this video how to make $1 million selling real estate. Again, I did a video probably about 6 months ago, and I broke down the math on making $1 million. It's got a ton of views. It gets shared a lot. I constantly get emails, questions, messages on Facebook and stuff asking me questions about it. And what I did was I broke down the math, but I didn't really tell you guys how to get there and then tell you like the steps you need to do to get there. And now for the purpose of this recording, I'm assuming that you don't have any money, you have no skills, you're a brand new agent. Because a lot of the agents that I talk with, they want to do better than where they're at, but they're fairly new, and a lot of the brokerages out there don't really offer much in the form of training and figuring out where they're at, and helping them build a roadmap of where to get to. So what I want to do is I want to give you that roadmap and give you the a basic formula on how to get there and how to reach those goals. Now, this is how to make $1 million selling real estate. And your goal might not be $1 million, it might be $10 million, but either way, you just take the same plan and you scale it up or scale it down to meet your goal, or maybe to meet the time frame you want to do it in. So let's just go ahead and get right into it. So the first thing you need to do is you got to believe that you can get there, and you got to start removing all your mental blocks. And there's a lot of agents I talk to that they have all these reasons, whether it's they grew up poor, or their spouse tells them that they can't do what they're doing. Their mom and dad tell them they can't do what they're doing. Some of their friends say, "Oh, this is a stupid idea," but you got to get your head right. If you're moping around saying I can't, I can't, then you probably can't. I mean, the biggest problem I see with real estate agents is they just don't believe in what they're doing. A lot of realtors come from places that aren't really sales careers. So when they jump into real estate, it's commission only. I mean, people aren't just coming to you when you get a license. I mean, when you get a real estate license, people aren't just, you're not raising your hand going, "Hey, I got a license," and then you got a line going out the door. Or it's not quite like that. And a lot of agents just don't believe in what they're doing, but a lot of it's the people around them. But we have the greatest job in the world. We should be putting our real estate practice on the same level as doctors and lawyers. I mean, we're not doing heart surgery, but we're helping people with the largest financial decision of their lives. Now, what you might have to do to get your head right and get your head into believing that you can be successful, you might need to look at your friends and the people that you're around. There might be some of those people you got to cut out. Some of the people that are basically the naysayers. It might be your friend you've been friends with for the last 20 years, or you grew up with them and stuff. But man, if they're working at the gas station telling you how broke they are all the time, you probably need to stay away from them. I mean, I'm a big believer in you're an average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So if all your friends are broke working for $8 and $10 an hour, then you might need to look at your friend group. And I know a lot of people say, "Oh, well, that's how do you find friends that are at that next level that you want to go to?" And I mean, the easiest thing to do is look on Facebook, but too, you need to look at what habits you have. If you're staying up all night, watching Netflix, you're sleeping till 11 or 12 the next day, staying up all night, going out to bars, drinking and stuff, feeling bad the next day, you're hungover and you just can't get to work. You're not excited when you get on the phone, you're not excited when you get to the office, or you're just sick. All that's gonna affect your goals, it's gonna affect your work ethic, it's gonna affect your mindset and all that stuff. I mean, you need to look at your life and what you have going on and start removing those mental blocks or even those physical blocks and habits and stuff that might be, holding you back. The second thing you're gonna need to do is you're gonna need to set some goals. Now, I know this is the video on telling you how to make $1 million, but whatever your goal is, you need to set that goal and you need to actually write it down. And you need to look at it every day. As real estate agents, we get a lot of offers sometimes and craziness coming to us that sometimes it didn't. It may seem like a great offer, a great opportunity on the top level, but it's probably not. I mean, you need to look at these goals that you have, and anything business related that's not going to help you reach your goal, you need to start saying no to it. But you need to get up every morning, look at these goals, look at the people you're around, just keep reaffirming to yourself, hey, I can do this. This is what I can do. This is what I want. Number three, and I showed you this in the other video, but you need to do the math. Make $1 million in your market. Look at your market. What I mean is you need to really look at it. I hear agents telling me crazy stuff. Oh, I'm only going to do luxury real estate. I only want to do, $500,000 plus. But here's the thing. You might not be in a $500,000 plus market. I mean, most markets around the country, $1 million home sales just don't exist. I mean, there's a lot of markets you can sell $1 million house, and you had the biggest sale that was in your MLS. You need to look at what price range is actually selling in your market. If your actual price range, what you're looking for is you want to find the true average commission or your own personal average commission. But, for the purpose of building your numbers and stuff, you need to find an average commission, a dollar amount. You need to make sure it's realistic. If your market is a $100,000 market, $150,000 market, you're just going to have to do more volume to make $1 million. If you're in a market where the average price is $700,000-$800,000, then man, that's great. You only got to do 50 transactions at $20,000 a transaction, and you're at your $1 million goal, wherever your goal is. So you need to do that math though. And what this is going to do is going to help you in your thought process. It's going to help you reaffirm your goals. You can break it down based on your time frame. I mean, if you want to make $1 million a year, it's going to be a little difficult than, if you want to make $1 million over the next 3 years, But you need to look at what price range is actually selling in your market. Look at what your true average commission is. Number four, how are you going to get there? How are you going to reach your goal? And the business, I think us as real estate agents, we make the business seem a lot more difficult than what it is. But there's really only two things that really make you money. I mean, one's either talking to buyers or talking to sellers. And if you want to do more buyer business, you need to talk to more buyers. If you want to do more seller business, you need to talk to more sellers. So you need to decide kind of how are you going to get there. Is it going to be a healthy mix? Is it going to be a 50-50 mix of buyers and sellers? I mean, personally, I like sellers better than buyers. And the reason being is because a seller, you can have 50 listings and all 50 listings can get shown today while you're sitting at home in your pajamas. Okay, while you're out of town, while you're on vacation, whatever, all your listings can get shown. Okay, if you got 50 buyers, there's no way you can even show a property probably this week. I mean, unless you put them all on a bus. And even if you've done that, the chances of them all being interested in the same property type and stuff probably just isn't going to happen. I mean, if you're working with sellers, you can control your time, you control your life, you can make sure, that you're home, you got, a day off here and there. Buyers, sometimes you're just at the mercy of their whims. Hey, they're coming in town tomorrow, and if you can't show them a property at 11, they're just going to call the next agent they're talking to because they filled out 10 forms online. So sellers typically, more than likely, you got an exclusive right to sell listing agreement. They're only working with you. And for sure you got a client. If you get multiple offers, there's only one person that has a 100% chance of getting paid, and it's the listing agent. So I prefer sellers over buyers, but there's a lot of agents that they love working with buyers. But you need to look at what your goal is, and then you look at how are you going to get to that goal. And it's got to be with one or the other, working with buyers or working with sellers. So number 5, you need to make sure your sales systems are in place, and you need to create sales systems. And, these systems are things that they're always evolving. Our mind are always evolving. I mean, 5 years ago, Facebook, the trust in Facebook didn't exist. I mean, honestly, 3 years ago, the trust in Facebook didn't exist, or at least I don't think it did. But you need to look at your sales systems. How are you going to contact these buyers and sellers? Is it going to be through the phone? Is it going to be mail? Is it going to be Facebook? Is it going to be email? But the biggest system you need to have, okay, is your follow-up system, because most of your sales will not be on the first call. And this is something I've been really good at with taking listings. It's not that I'm the best person on the phone, it's I'm the best person lots of times at following up with people. And I'm getting creative in the way that I'm following up and constantly bringing a sense of urgency to those follow-ups. And that's what you need to do. Sometimes it isn't so much the initial call, the initial mail piece, the initial Facebook message, the initial email. It's your follow-up after you've had a meaningful conversation with them. I mean, you can call 100 people, 100 expireds or 104 self-owners, and sometimes you might only have like one meaningful conversation that wants to sell in a reasonable time frame, or one buyer that wants to buy within a reasonable time frame. And typically that person is going to follow up. They're going to work with the person that followed up the best with them. So your follow-up system is the process that really just needs to be on point, and it needs to be you need to have some ideas for follow-up too. Some ways that you're doing it that's not intrusive. I mean, I've never heard somebody say, "Hey, look, I didn't work with you because you just followed up too much with me." But number 6, the fuel for your business is leads and lead sources. Okay, you need to look at your goals, look at your sales systems, decide if you want to work buyers or sellers, and then look for lead sources. Okay, now are you going to call, if you're doing buyers, you're going to do Facebook, you're going to do Google ads, or you're going to do newspaper ads. I mean, there's tons of ways that you can get, buyer leads. The best way to get buyer leads, though, and the highest quality buyer leads that are available are sign calls. And the best way to have that is to have a lot of listings, have a lot of signs out there in front of people's houses for sale, and you'll get a lot of high quality buyer leads. But with sellers, you need to decide, what kind of seller leads you're going to go for. And I wrote the book 53 Strategies to Get More Listings, and I put 53 different ways. Actually, it's like 57 different ways to get more sellers, but you need to have predictable lead sources. If you're going to work expired listings, you need to have a system. I use Red-X, but you need to have a system that, when you get up in the morning, you get ready to make calls, you got your prospecting time and stuff there. You need to make sure that you open your laptop and you have everything right there, that you can just start making calls. You don't have to think about things. So I use Red-X, I use eBuyer. I work really hard on expireds. I work really hard on for sale by owners. Both those services offer discounts if you tell them I sent you, or tell them that you're in my group, Real Estate Agents That Really Work. But having those lead sources, those predictable lead sources, that's what's going to help you hit your goal even a little faster. So number 7, okay, you need to have a schedule. Okay, a lot of agents miss this. They get up in the morning, they kind of wander around, they get to the office at 10. They never really treat their real estate career as a real job. And I mean, the truth of it is it is a job. I mean, you do work for yourself, and this is where a lot of agents fail. Maybe they worked a regular like 8 to 5 job, and this is a second career or third career for them. And when they make the transition, they don't have that schedule, like, hey, I got to be there at 8, I got to work till 5. So what they do is they just kind of work when they feel like it. And if you only work on days that you feel like it, you're not going to work a lot of days. I mean, there's a lot of days that I feel bad. I don't want to pick up the phone. I don't want to make calls like I should. I don't want to do I don't want to do the stuff I do, but I know that I have to do it to reach my goals. And those are the days, that you look back and you go, hey, well, I want to do this, and I want to get to here, and I want to have this much money in the bank. I want to have this and this and this. And those are the days that you go back and review all those things. But you have to have a schedule. What days you're going to work the next 30 days, what days you're going to work the next 90 days. And I mean, you can even break it down to, hey, I'm going to make this many calls, and this many calls should get me this many appointments. This many appointments should get me this many listings, and this many listings are going to get me this many sales. So you can even break your schedule down after you've been tracking After you've been tracking your lead sources, after you've been tracking your conversion rates and stuff, I mean, you can break it down to, hey, I got to work 4 days this week and I got to make this many calls, or to hit my goal for the week of listing appointments. I need to call this amount of time and I want to be off Thursday. So I'm going to allocate, I'm going to do a little more calls on Tuesday and Wednesday. So I can be off Thursday and, then I'm going to work Friday. So, but you got to have that schedule and you've got to know when you're going to work, when you're going to work, when you're not going to work, when are you going to set appointments, when are you going to do lead follow up, and I did a video about 6 things that you need to put in your schedule, but you got to have a schedule or you just won't show up. If it's not my calendar, I'm not going to do it. Again, number 8, you just need to repeat all this stuff and you have to repeat it constantly. You have to constantly look, like, hey, sometimes I'll notice like, hey, I'm talking to certain friends of mine and, they have like problems in their relationships, they have problems in their job, they have money problems, they have all this stuff. And then I start kind of feeling kind of down and stuff. And I start developing the same mindset that they have. And that sucks. But all these things you got to do, you got to repeat constantly. You got to constantly look for, if you want to take your business to the next level, you need to look at what lead sources are going to help you get there. If you want to, how can you improve your sales systems? How can you, maybe you're working with a lot of sellers and you're letting buyers go by the wayside. How can you take advantage of those buyers? Look at your math. What if you could improve your average commission check by 10%? What if you could make an extra 10% on the money that you take home? I mean, that's another thing. Some of these agents are on 50-50 splits. What if they went to an 80-20 split? Or what if they done an 80-20 split where they capped out at a certain point and got 100%? I mean, that would even be amazing. You go from 50-50 to the opportunity to make, put 30% more in your pocket plus get to 100%. I mean, what's that going to do to your money and what's that going to do to your $1 million math, So, number 2, you got to reaffirm those decisions. You got to reaffirm those goals. You got to do that almost every day. A lot of the real estate business, after you've done it for a while, some of it honestly ends up being repetitious boredom. You're going to have a lot of the same conversations. And this is why I tell people they got to use scripts. And the repetitious boredom sometimes is good because once you've said that same script to 1,000 people, you're going to know all the answers to all the questions. You're going to know all the objections to all the questions. You're going to know how to overcome those objections. But every time you switch scripts, you switch your sales system up a little bit, you switch your lead sources up a little bit, you're going to have a little bit of a learning curve. So even though your board calling expires, you're board calling for sale by owners, but you listed 5 FSBOs last month. I mean, you listened to my For Sale by Owner Master Series on YouTube that's free. You listed 5 For Sale by Owners and you're kind of bored with it and stuff, and you're tired of, their stupid objections and their stupid stuff, they got going on, or hearing the same excuses over and over again. That's good because that helps you develop ways to overcome those objections. And after a while, you get so good at some of this stuff, you start overcoming objections without even realizing it, or you start overcoming objections before you even get the objection. So those are the 8 steps that are going to get you to $1 million, done making $1 million in the real estate business. Now I'm going to give you 5 steps that's going to help you get there a little bit quicker. The number one thing that's going to help you get there a little quicker is you need a coach or a mentor. You need somebody that you believe in, somebody that you truly believe in, and you believe that this person can help you. And this person needs to have some experience. They need to be doing some business, and you need to have access to them. Okay, now what this person can't be is it can't be the agent in your office that done 2 transactions last month. That person isn't going to help you much because they probably need help themselves. The agent that hadn't taken a listing in the last 6 months that's telling you how listing expires and For Sale by Owners doesn't work. That's not the person that you want to to do. The person that made $50,000 last year, you don't want that person to be your coach and mentor because they they're not doing anything. They only can coach you and help you with what they know, and they're not doing so great. If you're making $30,000, $40,000 in the real estate business, then honestly, you get a job at McDonald's and probably have less stress, less aggravation, and make the same money. But you need to find that coach or mentor, that person that you really believe in, that's got some experience. They're doing business, they've done business, you have access to them, you can call them, you can text them, you can email them, stuff like that. Number two, you need to make a commitment to personal self-development. And what that means is you need to constantly be learning. You need to learn new things. You need to listen to positive material. You need to start putting positive things in constantly. That way you can, if you keep putting positive things into your mind, positive things are going to come out. If you keep putting negative things into your mind, you're hanging out with those friends that have nothing going on in life, then pretty soon you're not going to have really anything going on either. So you need to make a commitment to personal self-development and improvement. So number three, one of the things that's going to shorten your curve to making $1 million is working at a good company. And what I mean by a good company is it's somewhere that you can grow, somewhere that has competitive commission splits, somewhere you can be there for a while. So you want to be at a real estate office that's actually growing. If you're in an office and last year they had 50 agents, this year they have 20 agents, that office is going backwards. If you're at an office where, hey, they had 10 agents last year and this year they have 20, or this year in the company, the company's doubled in size in the last year, that company's growing and they're looking for agents that will grow with them. If the company is constantly downsizing, they're cutting services, they're losing agents and stuff, it isn't long until you're going to start having some pressure on your commissions. You're going to notice junk fees. You're going to notice commission splits are going to change. Company policies are going to change. All of a sudden, you were getting you're getting conversion for free, and now all of a sudden, it's costing you $100 a month. Or conversion's going away, and they're getting replacing it with something cheaper. You want to work for a company that's showing positive growth. Then you want to have competitive commission splits. If you're at a company that's 50-50 and you're doing a lot of business, I promise you will not be there long. Because what's going to happen is you're going to start looking at your paychecks and you're going to go, oh my God, I brought in, $5,000 to the company and I left with a $2,200 paycheck. This doesn't even make sense. How did they get more than me? And, nowadays, it used to be you worked for the company. Now you need a company that's going to actually work for you. I mean, you're the person that decides where you're going to take your business to. So if you're looking to grow and you're in a growth mindset, it isn't very long until you're going to want to start branding yourself. You're going to want to be, Jason Morris All-Star Team or whatever it's called, John Smith Group or whatever. You want to be in an office that's going to allow you to do that, allow you to grow your personal brand. If you're in an office that requires that you put their website on all your cards, they require all the syndication, the leads come back to them. They require desk duty. They require the office number on all the signs where it's not a state requirement. You can't have your number on the signs. You can't have your own business cards. You can't have your own logo. You can't have, all this stuff. Then what they're growing is they're growing the company. They're not helping you grow your business. But you need competitive commission splits. Preferably you need something where you're going to cap and get 100%. It gives you a goal you can work towards. Plus it gives you some incentives. Plus it's going to put more money in your pocket in the long run. Because, and when I say you want to be somewhere for a while, okay, if you're changing companies, if you're somewhere that that you're going to change in the next 6 months, it's going to hurt your performance. If you're somewhere that that like, hey, this is a good start, but I'm new, so this is a good start. I'll probably move somewhere after I get a few transactions under my belt. That's going to hurt your performance because every time you move, man, it's tough to move. You got to get listings changed over if they even allow you to take your listings. Some offices don't allow you to take it, but you got to get listings changed over. You got to get all of this stuff done. You got to get new business cards, new signs, a new name tag, all this stuff. You know, go ahead and go somewhere that you can plan to be at like 3 to 5 years or longer. You know, number four, the number four thing that's going to shorten this $1 million learning curve, $1 million earning curve is working with positive people. You want to be in an office that's a sharing place where everybody, whether it's a Facebook group, a message board, whatever it is, you can share ideas, you can share experiences, you can share objections that you're having, you can share ways to overcome that. You know, uh, you want to be somewhere where there's an abundance mentality. If you're in an office where they believe there's only a finite amount of business and you can't share with the guy that's down the hall from you, then it's going to hurt your growth and stuff too, and it's going to hurt your mindset. You know, number five, you want to be somewhere that is encouraging innovative technology. And what I mean by this is like 5 years ago, we didn't have CRMs like we do today. In 2006, Zillow didn't exist. Trulia didn't exist. All these things are happening in our industry, and our industry is going absolutely crazy with new technology. You want to be at a company that's looking at technology and they're trying out new things to implement company wide. That way, because they're going to have training based on the technology they're implementing. Now, you don't have to use, their free agent account. You can go out and get your own, for your team or for yourself that's independent of theirs. But if they're constantly looking at new technology, they're going to be training on that new technology. They're going to be implementing systems and stuff that's going to be it's going to work with that new technology, and it's going to shorten your learning curve on that, rather than you spending 4 or 5 hours trying to figure out all the tricks and tips and stuff with conversion. You can just log in and watch one of their videos, and somebody else has already figured it out for you. Or Commissions Inc. And two, like a lot of these offices get different discounts. Like my office, for example, is switching over to Commissions Inc. So every agent's going to have Commissions Inc. If I go out and get it myself, it's going to be $1,000 a month, but I'm getting it with my office fees, so I'm getting it literally for $50 a month. But I'm getting all kind of tools and stuff, with that $50 a month. So guys, that's going to help you shorten your learning curve. So guys, I appreciate you listening to this video. I hope this helps you. Guys, I'm available with real estate agents that really work. My Facebook group. I work at eXp Realty. I'm looking for some agents in different parts of the country, select markets that I can work with personally, that want to work with me, that want to build their business. They want to sell more real estate. They want to make more money. They want to do some new and exciting things, and they want to do some new and exciting things with me. If you think this is something you're interested in, send me an email or send me a Facebook message, and let's set up a time to talk. My email address is jasonmorrishomes@gmail.com. That's JASONMORRIS Homes, HOMES@gmail.com. Send me an email there. It pops on my phone. We'll set up a time we can talk. Send me a message through Facebook. A lot of these things we've talked about, I've got systems that help you get there. And I've got a lot of stuff that I want to share with somebody and help them grow their business. And I want to grow my business to some new markets outside of the area that I currently work in. And guys, if you're looking for new lead sources, hey, look at RedX. I use RedX personally. I think the For Sale by Owners is the greatest. I think it's the greatest lead source for the amount of money you spend right now. I would do For Sale by Owners. I use Onyx. It's a RedX program. They waive the $150 setup fee if you tell them I sent you. I also use ZBuyer quite a bit. ZBuyer always has some discounts and great stuff they do for the group real estate agents that really work. And if you're not a member of it, join my Facebook group, Real Estate Agents That Really Work. I've got a book on Amazon. And anyway, if I can help you, just let me know. If you have any questions about this recording, go ask them in the group, Real Estate Agents That Really Work. You guys have a great day.